guys, welcome back to Novel Nomad and welcome to another Tag Tuesday. Today I'll be doing the books I'll probably never read tag, which is created by Marissa over at Little Spider 9. And I really like this tag because instead of books that I will never read, I like the word probably because it doesn't completely rule them out. Because why work in absolutes when I've been so surprised by books that I was willing to write off from the get-go? But we'll get straight into the questions, and question one is a really hyped book that you're not really interested in reading. And for me, that's going to be Paula Hawkins' latest book, Into the Water. Now, she wrote Girl on the Train, and really this, I suppose, is keeping in with the Gone Girl kind of Gillian Flynn kind of stories. And you probably think it's quite surprising because I do love reading mysteries, but I've just never really been interested in those super hyped up thrillers because something's always given away, and especially with a thriller, if it's really hyped you expect it to be really intense, and if it doesn't match a certain expectation it falls flat straight away. So I tend to avoid hyped thrillers. So question two is a series you won't be starting or you won't be finishing, and most of these I won't be finishing because I've read the first book and I'm like, yeah, thanks. The first one is the Outlander series. This is the Australian UK title called Cross Stitch. They do release the first book called Outlander, but I think the very first one was called Cross Stitch in Australia editions. I read the first one. I actually enjoyed it, but that was all I needed from the story. I think I just didn't really agree with the main character Claire very often, and I'm just not interested in their stories further than this book. So that was enough, and that's all I need to know. So yeah. The next series I won't be finishing is The Hunger Games. I've read the first one, and whilst it was really good, I only read it in a night. Yeah, I don't have any compunction to read the rest of the series, and that follows very much in line with the Bridget Jones series. I read the first book. I really didn't like the first book, and people say the second book gets worse from the first book, so I can't see how I would enjoy that series. And probably the only series that I won't be starting is the Divergent series. I've just never really had much interest in the whole YA dystopian world unless it's like, not a series anyway, like a one unique book that is really different, yes, but a series have never held interest for me. Question three is a classic that you're not interested in, and for me, I think one of them will be The Scarlet Letter. I don't think I'm going to completely cross this book off because I would be interested in reading it, but I think I would have been interested in reading it as part of my studies at university so I could actually discuss themes and motifs through the book with other people. I think that would be a really good book club / discussion book. The other one, I think just because it's not really a genre that I would read or something that I would willingly pick up, is A Clockwork Orange. And I just think I had this fear from the movie because I have seen the start and the beginning of the movie to have that intensity in my head as I'm reading it. I think that's something that really distances me from picking up that book anytime soon. Question four is any genres that you never read. Now, I think why I named myself Novel Nomad is because I like to read many genres. So these are ones that I typically don't pick up, and that would be dystopian. I have read some fantastic dystopians, but I'm not attracted to picking them up when I see them in store. If I read the blurb and it's a dystopian world, it's not going to get me. It has to be characters or something else that has to really grab me. Secondly is westerns. I'm not typically a fan of the western genre, but I have read some fantastic historical fiction that has been set in that time, has had a bit of a different focus. It's not the classic cowboys and Indians thing from the 50s. It has a bit more of a central theme, but it's set in the western period of the Victorian era in the mid to far west in America. And lastly, not a surprise because I have advertised this quite a lot, I do not like horror. I avoid horror in movies, in anything, scary rides, no. So horror books aren't really my go-to. I have a few that I really want to read, but it's not a section of the bookstore that I would gravitate towards. And the last question, it's a nice short tag, is a book on your shelves that you'll probably never read. Now, I should have done this before I did my unhaul, because many of those books are gone. So if you want to have a look at my most recent unhaul, they're probably books that I haven't read or I wasn't going to reread. But the three I have here are actually books that I have found that were for free, and or books that I was given by a friend that they picked up for free or had just thought of me, and I'm not sure if I am inspired to read these. So if you love these books and you want me to read them, or you think I would really enjoy them, please tell me in the comments down below. I'd love to get recommendations. The first one I'm already leaning towards reading, and that is The Passage by Justin Cronin. It's a horror book. I think is it vampires or zombies? I don't know. But it is a horror book. It's dystopian as well, so it's a bit of a mixed genre that I don't usually read. But a woman at my local bookstore absolutely loves this trilogy, and she waxes poetical about it at any point you have a conversation with her. So if you loved this series or even the first book and think it would be something that is really interesting even though it's in that genre or has something different, please let me know. The next one is a bit of a surprise. I just haven't picked it up, and I was really excited when I saw it, but I've just never got around to it. So if you've read it and you think it's a really interesting science fiction urban fantasy read, let me know, and let me get to the book as well. That is A Madness of Angels by Kate Griffin. Yeah, I haven't got around to picking this one up, but please tell me if this is a really interesting urban fantasy. I believe it's set in London. The problem with all these free books is they don't come with a back cover, so you never get to check the blurb. But yeah, let me know what you think. And lastly, a book that one of my good friends gave me. She found it in a free book section at a local bookstore, and that is The Alchemist's Daughter by Catherine McMahon. But yeah, so this one sounds completely up my alley. It's a historical fiction. It's set in 1725 in England. It's about a daughter and her father. Her father's an alchemist, obviously, given the title. But certain things happen and her father is basically exiled or banished, and she has to make her own way in the world. And I am interested, but I think the blurb, when I read the blurb, when my friend gave it to me, it just seemed so intense that it's almost as if the blurb gave away the whole story. Do you find that at all when the blurb is just too long? It just feels like you've just read the entire book. But yeah, if you've read this one, let me know in the comments down below. Tell me if you liked it or not. Okay guys, a really short tag for today, but thank you all for watching. If there's any tag that you'd like to see me do, let me know in the comments down below as well, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!